Pleasant day, everyone. I am Amy Ann Bisto, your reporter for today. And for our topic for today is all about Chapter 5 Ownership and Structural Form of Business Enterprise. Review, here are the subtopics that I'm going to report. First is the type of ownership in business. Second is the single proprietorship. Uh, and third is the partnership. And the fourth is the cooperative organization. And five is corporation. And the last is the form of public ownership. And for the end of this topic, the student may able to learn the three classification of ownership and to know the ownership and structural form of business, to assess the advantages and disadvantages of sole proprietorship, and to learn about the two types of partnership and the benefits and drawbacks of each, as well as the different types of partnership. The fourth is to understand the different types of cooperative organizations and their principle, power, and privilege. And the fifth is to understanding the nature and or a characteristic of cooperative ownership and control, cooperate, combination, and the benefits and drawback of each is critical. And the last objectives is to evaluate the form of public ownership. Okay, let's move on for our first subtopic, which is the type of ownership in business. So, ownership defined as a legal term, meaning na ana joy pamatuod nga kana nga butang is legal kay na ay like supporting documents. And it also have the three characteristic, which is the private ownership, the public ownership, and the mixed ownership. So, private ownership means that pwede nimo i-enjoy kung unsay naa sa imong enterprises tungod kay imuha man, ikaw man ang nanag-iya. For example, nanigiyahan kag yuta, so walay magbuot nimo og imuha bang ibaligya or dili. Ikaw mismo ang mo decision. And then, for public ownership is controlled by the government or political bodies, meaning igura ka mag-atiman or sa mga own property o sa hayop pa, igura ka ni alima and you don't have a power to make a decision. Kay a government may magbuot. And for mixed ownership is the combination of private and public ownership, meaning ang imong property is natunga sa duha just like a partnership company or something nga naa kay kahati. So kay naaman kay katunga dili pud ka makabuot sa property without the consent of your partner. It also have ownership and structural form of business. So first is we have here the individual of single or sole proprietorship, and the second partnership sa akong giingon ganina nga di ka makabuot sa property without the consent sa imong partner. And the third is cooperative organization. If daghan mo sa usa ka property. Fourth is cooperation. Maura sila sa cooperative, but the cooperation is na ay tendency nga mukiha or kihaon ta. And the last is corporate combination. Alright, let's move on to the second subtopic, which is that individual or single proprietorship. So, the individual or single proprietorship means that one man owns all the land, building, machinery, and labor. He conducts the business in person. The form of ownership is small, requires a small amount of capital, and it is readily established under his control. Many enterprises start as sole proprietorship. Later, they expand into larger form of business prospers. So it also have the advantage and disadvantages. So first, the advantages of the single proprietorship. So it is first is it is easy to start and to terminate. Easy because ikaw ra ang magdesisyon. So second, control or control or management lies entirely in the hands of the owner. So you're the one who control and manage your business. And third, only a small amount of capital is required in starting. So, for example, balot vendor, they start a small capital in their business. So, and the fourth is profit belong entirely to the owner. Ikaw mismo ang tag-iya, imuha na ng profit, wala kay katunga or something like imong ka-share. So, the last is the high credit standing. So, for example, just like in kanabitang maligyag isaw, although gamay ra siya og puhunan pero dako siya profit because halinon manggod siya. And alright, let's move on to the disadvantages of single proprietorship. So here is the first one, limited judgment and wisdom. Yes, dili jud lalim mutukod og business without any partnership. So the second is limited amount of capital. It depends on the resources of the business owner kung dako ba or gamay iyang resources. But if gamay iyang resources, maglisod jud siya og start. So and third is unlimited liability. So, single proprietorship is very risky. Kay tanan nimong asset is nakataya. If you fail jud ka. But if you have the courage to try and continue what you've started until you succeed is that in that field. And the fourth is difficulties of management. So it becomes difficult because daghan naman ka i-manage, like naay possibility nga makalibog tungod sa kadaghan sa imong responsibility as a owner. Alright, let's move on in the third subtopic, which is the partnership. So, a partnership is an organization where two or more people bend themselves to contribute money, property, or industry to a common fund with the intention of dividing the profits among themselves. A partnership is either universal or particular, as defined by Article 1967 of the Civil Code. It recognized by the Philippine law the two forms of partnership. First is the general partnerships, and the second is agreement and control of partnerships. So first we discuss first the general partnership, what it is. So unsa man jud ning general partnership. So it consists of two or more person nga imong ka kompetensya. To make it clear, general partnership is kanabang maoy madali-dali nimong pangayo og tabang, but tungod sa kadaghan nga ni abil makikompetensya na, just like in mall. The mall itself is called the general partnership, and the tenant like pen shop, bench, and other store inside the mall are the members that compete each other. Ana siya. And the second form is the agreement and control of partnership. Means the partnership or organization is formed as easily as that of a single proprietorship. A simple agreement without a written document is sufficient to form a partnership. It is, however, preferable that the partnership agreement be drawn up in writing by a reliable attorney and signed by every one of the partners. So, naadyo'y kasulatan nga nagpamatuod nga apil jud kana nga partnership. And now let's move on to the advantages and disadvantages of partnership. So here are the advantages of partnership. So first, it could be as easy form of the single proprietorship because dali ra man ka makasugod without any risk sa imong money. So the second is there are more persons to conduct the business and to handle its problems. So og naapoy problema sa business like capital, dali ra pud masulbad because daghan mo tabang. And the third is a partnership has access to greater or better credit facilities. The fourth is the combined ability and resources of partners are a source of strength. Yes, og daghan kag partnership, daghan pud kag resources kay. And the fifth and the last advantage of the partnership is the retention of available employees. Yes, if daghan kag resources is that if that resources is halinon, mutaas jud imong profit. And let's move on to the disadvantage of partnership. So, first, unlimited liability of partners. So, kay nakig-partner man ka, so you have a lot of responsibility. And second, disagreement between partners often lead to delay and difficulty which could endanger the enterprises. So, it is difficult to decision in your own without the consent of your partner, but in order to make it easy, it should be meeting regarding the decision nga buhaton. So naadyoy ng communication sa imong partner para dili bitaw magka-conflict sa ano say ganahan sa imong partner o sa pagganahan nimo, dapat inyo nang istoryahan. And then the third is easy dissolution and accept the fact that if ever mamatay ang usa ka partner, kana siya or he or she has no longer be a partner, means mawala na pud siya sa partnership. So akong gimin is if mamatay na mo ka partner, bisan pag iyang mga anak or unsa pa na niyang mga kaliwat niya, dili na kasunod sa iyang sa inyong partnership because siya man mismo nakapangalan man sa iya ha. So if mawala siya, wala na adto na taman ang iyang business partnership. So alright, the fourth disadvantage is frozen investment. If you are investing on something, even if imuhang money, tungod kay naa kay partner sa business, it is very difficult to withdraw. Kay nga naman, tungod sa fact nga magka-misunderstanding. Ma-misunderstanding ang imong partner and it is the reason nga mabungkag inyong partnership or worse, it become enemy. Medyo na kasagaran. Dapat o makig-partner ka sa business, dili na lang siguro ka mag-invest or something like inana. Para inyong relationship is malumbuon. That's it. Alright, let's move on to the limited partnership. So, in limited partnership, there are two kinds of partnership, namely the general partnership and the special partnership or limited partnership. So, the general partnership who have the unlimited liability manage the operation of the partnership. So, the limited or special partners have any limited liability which is up to the extent of their investment. So it also have advantages and disadvantages. Here are the advantages. So number one, the first advantage is there is a single direction of management. Those there is unity and prompt action. Kay limited raman siya, pwede ra duha, tulo, or dali ra pud siya ma-manage. And the second is the limited liability or special or limited partners. Serves as good endorsement of investment, so resulting in large amount of capital to carry on the business. Dali ra ka maka-invest because ang investment is served as a result a large amount of capital. Wala siya kanang gigamit ang investment ba para sa capital or something. And then, here are the disadvantages. First is the unlimited power given to general partner may result in abuse. Abuse to the fact that what if the new partner wala pa siya exact amount of money to invest niya. The requirement to get the partnership is to invest some higher amount like 200,000. And the second is there is the possibility of collusion among the general partners to defraud the creditors and the limited or special partners. So here are the kinds of partnerships. So first, a general partnership earlier referred to. And second, limited partnership earlier referred to as third, capitalist partner who contributes money or property to the organization. And the fourth are industrial partners who contribute his service, talents, skills, and abilities but not property. And the fifth, managing partner who administer the operations and manage the business directly. Sixth, liquidating partner who handles the affairs of dissolution of the business. The seven, ostensible partners who seven, ostensible partner who publicly makes known his con with a partnership. So the eighth is secret partner whose identity is not publicly made known, unlike the ostensible partner. The nine is silent partner who is not giving a voice in management. So the tenth is dormant partner who is both sickly and silent. Then the last is the nominal partner who is no partner at all because the firm continues using his name for business or prestige purposes only. And that's it. So, alright, let's move on to the fourth subtopic, which is the cooperative organization. So, the principal theory of cooperative association is the elimination of profit as the controlling motivation and the reduction of certain economic evils. So, under the cooperative system, enterprises are formed to provide goods and services to the members at a cost. The members buy shares, the amount of which is usually limited. Here are the kinds of cooperative organizations. So, the customers cooperative it focuses on retail trade operation like store, gasoline station, supermarket. And the second is the producers cooperative. It is focused on production like fruits, a daily product nga pwede bibaligya or paliton sa member nga mahimo nila nga wholesaler sa ilang business. Pwede nila i-wholesaler silang business. So, the third is the marketing cooperative kung asa nimo ibaligya imong product. Unsa nga specific nga store nga diha nimo i-market ang imong product. And the fourth is the financing cooperative. Other strategy is mulon sila para makatukod og business or other important things nga pwede sila mo earn. Alright, let's move on to the principles of cooperatives. So, open membership, kanang available sa tanan, open siya sa tanan. And the second, democratic control. There is the specific person to control the cooperatives. So, and the third is limited interest to capital. Naa siya limited or specific value nga pwede ra nimo maabil. And the fourth is patronage refund. If the capital dili mabayaran sa deadline date, naa siya interest like 2% or 5%. So, alright, let's move on in the power of cooperatives. So, to exercise the some rights and privilege given to person, partnership, and corporation provide under existing law. And the second, to establish and operate business enterprises of all kinds as their needs dictates and their capabilities allow, subject to the provision of existing laws. And the third is to establish rural banks under the Rural Banks Act. Then the fourth is to enjoy all the privilege and incentive granting by the NASIDA Act and those granted by the old government agency to business organization under existing law, provided that all requirements are met. So the fifth is to petition the government to expropriate either or urban or rural lands for agriculture, production, cottage industry, business, or housing purposes. So the last is to own and dispose of property to enter into contract to sue and to do and perform such other acts as may be necessary in the pursuit of its objectives. And let's move on to the privilege of cooperatives. So, exception from income taxes and sales taxes, providing the substantial portion of the net income of the cooperative is returned to members in the form of interest or patronage fund. The second is agricultural cooperatives have the preferential right to supply their produce to state agency administering price stabilization program by the World Food Program or WFP is in areas where appropriate cooperatives exist. WFP has the right to improve foodstuffs such as rice, corn, fish, eggs, milk, and other agricultural commodities produced by members of the cooperatives. And the last is, in appropriate cases, exemption from the application of the minimum wage law upon the recommendation of the Bureau of Cooperatives the development subject to the approval of the Secretary of Labor. And now let's move on to the fifth subtopic, which is the corporation. So, a corporation is an artificial being created by operation of law, having the right of succession of the power, attributes, and properties expressly authorized by law or incident to its existence. In advanced countries, the corporation business ownership dominates the manufacturing and commercial field. It also have the nature and characteristic of corporation. It is an artificial business unit, and it is creation is through the process of law. The basic structure of corporation is simple. The the corporation or organization is of wide scope. The fourth, the existence of the corporation is practically permanent by operation of law. And the last is the function of the corporation is public. And now let's move on in kinds of private corporation. The stock corporation, and there are uh, um, the two kind, the stock corporation and the non-stock corporation. So, the stock corporation is a share capital is divided into shares authorized to distribute dividends. Meaning matunga-tunga ang imong capital. And the non-stock corporation is dili matunga pero mahatag sila og certificate sa stock nga maoy nagpamutuon nga member ka. And let's move on to the classes of capital stocks. So, a private corporation may be of two kinds of stock corporation and non-stock corporation. The common stock is presented as a basic honors and have the right of voting, active sa pag-control. And the preferred stock is naghatag og special protection or advantage over the common stockholder. And the preferred stock it also have the two categories, which is the preferred non-participating stock. It have limits that preference to the stated percentage. Ang percentage nga imong unang kinaunhang bayaran is matunga pa sa mga dividends. And the remainder is nabutang sa common stock. And the second form is preferred participating stock is preferred percentage and to participate sa mga common stock. And let's move on to the corporate ownership and control. So, the stockholders elect the directors, adopt and amend the bylaws and amend the articles of incorporation. They can compel a meeting or stockholders even when the board of directors refuses to call one. Their approval is needed when the sale of all of substantially all of the asset of the corporation is involved. So, and now let's move on to the advantages and disadvantages of corporate. Here are the two categories of advantages. So first, the organizational advantage and the optional advantage. So first we have the organizational advantage. So for the organizational advantage, we have five category, namely, namely ease of acquiring large amount of capital. It is easy to acquire the exact amount for capital. So the second is flexible ownership. The stock investors become part na sa business. Dili pareha sa partnership nga once na akay daghang investment ipahawa ka. So, and the third is the limited of stockholders. So, but naapoy limited sa imong pag-invest nimo na exact amount nga ana ra kataman kay dili man pud pwede nga mag-invest ka sa dako nga amount. What if dili na nimo makaya? And what if wala na poy i-invest sa ubang nga tao? Ana ra pud siya. Wala na po'y para nila. So, jud naa siya limit. And the fourth is more or less a permanent existence. So, pwede siya makontinue sa imong anak if mamatay na ka. But dili siya maka-epekto sa imuhang status. Gawas o ma-expire na ang membership. So, ang imuha lang is to kanangalan aning imuha siyang i-renew hantod sa ani mo. And the last is legal entity. It is secured because na mga document or any contract nga or ipangalan sa imuha nga kini nga property na matuod nga imuha jud akay ka ng evidence kuntahay nga imuha jud na nga property. Alright, let's move on in operational advantages, which are the corporation offers an excellent mechanism for mobilizing the large capital needed for modern industrial operations. The second is it permits intended specialization in management, plant and equipment, factory organization, labor, and marketing. Alright, let's move on in the disadvantages of corporation ownership. So here are four. There are four. First is organizational expense. Because of legal nature of a corporation, dili ka basta-basta makaprocess without assistant sa lawyer. The second, government restriction and reports. There are a lot of reports nga pangayoon sa government para ilang mabalaan nga kani nga organization is or kani nga corporation is legal. So the third is lack of personal interest. So makawala og interest because naay kaugalingon and identity ang corporation. And then the last is lack of secrecy. Tungod kay naamay annual report, tanang gibuhat sa corporation mabutang man sa report. So munang walag dili kayo siya imuhang mga strategy is dili kayo ma-secret bitaw, murag kuan siya nay makaibaw or something. And now let's move on to the corporate combinations. The modern corporation is the result of the drawing up of two or more independent corporations and the placing them under the control of one ownership interest. Outstanding instances of consolidation have occurred in the public utility field in motion picture, theater, hotel, a department store, and other retailing enterprises. So there are two types of corporate combination. First is the merges. The merger is a union affected by the absorption of one of or more existing corporation by another that survives and continues the combined business. It may be the absorption by one corporation of the properties and franchises of another whose stock it has acquired, whereupon the merged corporation cases to exist and the merging corporation alone survives. So the second is the trust. A trust is a form of business organization that allows a large number of investors to turn over funds to a small body trustees who in turn administer the business. The trust was originally developed to safeguard the property or minors of other persons under the Magna Carta. And now let's move on to the last subtopic, which is the form of public ownership. So most of the enterprises of public ownership are the public utility or public service type ship. Construction and operation are arsenals, printing and engraving, bridge operations, waterworks, gas and electric plants, strict railways and transportation lines. If profits are realized, they will be devoted to public rather than private interests. Here are the public corporations. So, a greater use is being made of the corporate device, and it's take the form of the public corporation. The public corporation is neither wholly public nor wholly private. It is a structure. It's combined elements or of both. It is mixed economic unit and amalgamation. A public corporation, where their use is being made the corporate device and it states that the form of the public corporation. The public corporation is neither wholly public or nor wholly private. In terms, it is a structure. It combines element of both. It is a mixed economic unit or an amalgamation of the two. And how public corporation is promoted. In the Philippines, corporations like Nawasa or Namarco had their own promoters. The promoters are the political and administration and recognized departments of government. The president, a provincial group, or a department secretary may become the spokesman a proposal to have the government undertake some economic enterprises. So let's move on to the and how public corporation is organized. Public corporations are presented in the forms of legislative bills. The bill set forth the policy and scope of the public enterprise. It also describes its powers and designates a government agency responsible for its management. In the Philippines, private corporations are formed according to the corporation law. And and let's move on to how public corporation in operation. So the people are the stockholder acting through their legislative representatives. A board of directors is usually designated by law. The corporate fund came from the public treasury. Loans may be secured by bonds and by the operation of the company. When so established, it operates very much like a private corporation. And according to Suman Rai, if you do not take ownership of your action, your action will eventually own you. And that's all for my report. Again, I'm Imi Anbisto. Thank you for listening.